What's wrong with you?
Babe, I didn't like how you stepped on my toe yesterday. Like it really
I
made me
don't
feel.
step on toes. I do not step on toes. That's not what I do. I don't step on people's toes. So
But
moving on.
okay, well, I also didn't like last week when we were at our event. You told me I had a booger in my nose in front of everybody. Like you embarrassed
I don't
me.
even look in people's noses. I don't even look in people's noses. So I don't even know why you would say that. Like,
Okay,
and if you did have a booger in their nose, you should be telling me thank you, because who wants to walk around with a booger in their nose?
but then at the same time, like 5 minutes later, you yelled at my breath stink in front of all your
Well,
friends.
because it did. Your
What does
breath
that?
stank. Like, why would you even do, like, why would you even be talking to me? And so you're gonna get out the car. So you mad. So you mad, so you're gonna get out the car. Bet. I'll remember that next time. Keep that same energy. Trying to tell me. I don't even. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tam here with Laugh and Grow with Tam. And on my channel, I help you go with real talk and a side of laughter. Let's get into this video. So have you ever met somebody that you can't never tell them by themselves? You can't never check them. They never take responsibility for their own actions. They never are never held accountable for anything. When you try to hold them accountable, they got some kind of excuse. Have you ever met somebody like that? I know I have. And I know that those types of people are very frustrating to deal with. But also on the flip side, I have also been one that has been hard to hold accountable. I've also been one that is always has an excuse. I've also been one that has been hard to tell or check, right? Specifically in relationships where I feel like I pour in the most or I do a lot. It's like, you can't check me because you ain't doing that. And that's not how accountability works. And so I made this outlandish skit. Shout out to my husband for helping me out with that. But I did this outlandish skit because so many times people are put in situations where they have an opportunity to own up, to take responsibility, to be held accountable. And instead they deflect, they make excuses, and or they just flat out dismiss what someone is saying. In this particular example in the skit, you have someone that's coming to someone respectfully and love to say, hey, this hurt me, this offended me, this bothered me. And as you can see, he got cut down, shot down every single time, cut off. He couldn't even finish saying what he was saying. He was told that he was wrong. He essentially was gaslit in that moment. And so I want to come for that quality in all of us, because all of us have those moments. You may not be to that extreme, but we've all had moments where we've tried to overly defend ourselves, or we've all had moments where we have not taken responsibility or accountability for our actions. Specifically, I know there's a lot of times, like in parenting, where you may have a mother who wrongfully or may have offended their child by yelling at them or by, saying something that out of anger, right? And oftentimes this is an area that's sensitive for most people, but oftentimes you never really see parents apologizing for what they've done. It's, well, I'm the mama, or I'm the daddy, or because I said so. And it's like, okay, we know that you're mom, we know that you're dad, but that still doesn't change the fact that you hurt your son's feeling when you yelled at him in front of all of his friends. It doesn't change the fact that you hurt your son's or your daughter's feelings when you cussed at them when you were angry. Two things can be true at the same time. The child may have deserved some form of discipline or correction, but it also could have still hurt their feelings the way that you went about it. I think about situations in friendships. I had a friendship where I literally was telling this particular friend, like, hey, this hurt me. And every single time there was no apology. It was always, well, it was looked over completely. It was, well, you hurt me and you did this and you weren't there for me and you did this. And it was just like, okay, great. I've apologized for all those things. I'm sorry. Like, that was not my intention. But I'm also telling you, hey, in the midst of all of that, I was hurting too. And this particular friend just would not apologize. They did not even acknowledge my feelings. And I remember how much that hurt me, so much so that I decided I was done with the friendship, because I was like, I cannot be friends with someone who's not going to own up to their portion of whatever this is, or own up to what they've done. And so I remember that feeling, and feeling bad at first about feeling that way, because I'm like, this is someone that I've known all my life. I love this person. And they just they could not bring themselves to acknowledge their wrong. I've been in a few friendships like that, where it was like, I was always the one getting pointed out, like, you did this, you did that, you did this. And it's like, okay, great. I did all those things. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? One thing about me, I don't have an issue apologizing, because one thing I understand about apologies is that I'm apologizing for something that I didn't intend to do. So I don't have an issue apologizing for that. Now, if I intentionally hurt you, you know what I'm saying? Then there might be some pride there to say, well, I did, but when I don't know that I hurt your feelings, of course I'm going to apologize, because, man, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize, right? And so I have been in situations, specifically in relationships, friendships, work relationships. Oh, I used to have an old boss. He was a narcissist. Oh my God, this man, I don't even know how to even explain how narcissistic he was. It was an abusive relationship, seriously. And he literally, like, the way he just talked over you as if what you were saying didn't matter, or tried to turn things around like it was your fault when you in the wrong. How you hit me and I end up being in the wrong for it? Well, your face shouldn't have been there. It's like, but you hit me. Make it make sense. And so I know, for me, I have had to have these conversations with people before, this type of conversations with people before, to say, hey, yeah, this person may have done you wrong, but what's your part in it? Or on the flip side, if someone's coming to you to say, hey, this hurts my feelings, hey, this is upsetting me, and your response is, well, why you ain't say nothing before? Or if your response is, well, that's not how I meant it. So it's like, you're not even validating this person's feelings. You're not even taking ownership for that. And that's where you have to ask yourself, is there some pride going on here? What happened in my life that I can't even admit when I've done something wrong? What is it about me that I feel like I got to be perfect all the time and that I can't do any wrong? What is it about me that says I can't take ownership for something, for what I did? What is it? What does that say about me as a person? And then imagine how that is affecting the people around you. Imagine how that's affecting the people around you. I'm trying to turn this air off in the back now, realizing I ain't doing nothing. Okay, it was so loud. But imagine how that's affecting the people around you. Like, if my child cannot come and tell me that, Mom, that hurt my feelings. If he can't even be, if my sons can't even feel safe enough to come share with me when something's bothering them, are you think they're going to tell me anything when they get older and they're involved in situations that I need to know about? No, they're not going to feel safe with me. They're not going to feel emotionally safe to come and talk to me about anything. If my best friend is my best friend and we love each other the way that we say we do, then she should feel comfortable enough to come to me and say, hey, sis, like, the other day when we were talking and you told me that what I was feeling was stupid, that hurt my feelings, and I just wanted to bring that to you. If my response is, well, it was stupid, and I mean, I'm sorry, but somebody had to tell you, right? Then now she doesn't feel safe, and then the friendship is on the line, because now I can't even be honest with you. I can't even be my full self around you. I had a friendship where I felt like I literally couldn't be myself because I felt like I always had to be dressed right, dressed perfect. I felt like this friend wanted me to be a certain way all the time. And when I wasn't, they called me out on it. And I just began to shrink. And I realized very quickly, not quickly, it took me a minute, but I realized I can't be friends with someone when I can't be my full self, where I don't feel safe enough to be myself and have a day where I'm just not on it. And those are the type of relationships that you have to reevaluate. Now, if you do go to someone and maybe it hits them in a sore spot, maybe it's a trigger for them and they don't respond the right way initially, give people grace, because somebody may come back later and say, you know what, the way I handled that was wrong. I'm sorry, right? Give people space and grace for that. But 9 times out of 10, you will know, if you've been in a relationship with someone, whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, whether it's a work relationship, you've interacted with them long enough to know, like, okay, this is this person's personality. They really struggle with taking ownership. They really struggle with the truth of who they are. They really struggle with accountability. So I just wanted to address that, because no condemnation. Like, if you're someone who struggles with that, let's work on it. Let's work on that. Let's think about some examples. I'll just give some examples. For example, let's say in the skit, the guy comes and he says, hey, you really hurt me when you stepped on my foot. And an improper way to address that is not validate their feelings, not acknowledge what they're saying. Just because you validate someone's feelings doesn't mean that you agree with what they're saying, right? I may not agree that it's a big deal to step on someone's shoe. Okay, well, it's a shoe, get over it. But I can validate their feelings by saying, you know what, I can see why that upset you, and I'm sorry. I did not mean to step on your foot. Or if you did mean to step on it, I didn't mean to step on your foot, but it was just in a situation where I honestly didn't think it was going to bother you. So I apologize, because I see that it's bothering you, and I love you and I care enough about you to say, I won't do that again. That's a healthy way to have that. You don't have to take it on as your identity, right? If someone tells me, you know what, I really don't like that you lied to me the other day, I don't have to take that on and say I'm a liar now. And then now I'm responding to you. So you calling me a liar? It's like, you know what? Yeah, I apologize for that, because I can see how that upset you. And I did mean to lie in that moment. I didn't think it was going to land on you that way. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And I see now that it has affected you, and I'm sorry. Just communication. Like, you don't have to wear what people are saying to you as a badge. You don't have to put it on and say, I take on fullness of that. I think that's part of the issue, is that when someone comes to you and tells you that you've done something wrong, or, for example, let's not even talking about apologies. Let's talk about your boss tells you, hey, look, you've been coming in late every day to work. And I know you got a lot going on. I know you got 3 kids, but you got to get here on time. You got to get here on time. Well, I mean, y'all know you ain't got no kids. So you don't know what it's like to have to get up in the morning and get your kids dressed and fix them breakfast and get in the car. Plus, I got a 30-minute commute. So versus the correct way, which would be, you know what? I see, and I understand that I need to be on time for work. Can we sit down and talk about maybe a grace period? Because where I am in life right now, is there possible I can shift my schedule back 5 minutes so that I can make sure I can hit the mark? Because where I am in life right now, it's been very difficult, right? Taking ownership. Yeah, I have been late. I'm sorry. And I understand how, as my supervisor, that's an issue, and how it may come off to my other colleagues, or my other coworkers, right? Take on ownership of that. If your professor writes feedback on your paper that you wrote and it's red marks all over it, and you're offended, and, oh, I write good papers, I don't even know why she marked on all that. Take responsibility. Say, you know what? Yeah, I can see where I could have fixed it here. Or to just take it on and say, you know what? The professor doesn't agree that this is what this is, and I can't do nothing about that. This is professor-student relationship. So if they're saying I need to go back and fix it, I need to go back and fix it, right? So just giving you all some small practical examples, but don't deflect. And when I say deflect, don't try to take the blame off of yourself. Just acknowledge that you did the action. Sometimes that's all people need to see, is that you need to acknowledge, hey, you didn't text me back yesterday, and that bothered me. You're right, I didn't text you back. And you know what? I got really busy and I completely forgot. I'm sorry, because I know that probably made you feel like I left you hanging. But I got you. I'm going to respond as soon as I get home. You're not taking on the responsibility of you're a bad friend because you didn't respond to me, right? And I think that's the issue. A lot of times we take it on as our identity, and then we have difficulty owning up to it because you don't want to take on something. And it's like, you don't have to. You don't have to. So anyway, I love y'all. This video is much longer than I intended. I'm currently staring at a bug that's on my building, and I don't know what that is. So I'm gonna be calling my husband in a few minutes to be like, can you come out here? Because what is that? Yeah, what is that? Anyway, I love y'all. I will see y'all in the next video, and I hope y'all enjoyed this. Bye.